You know those probability questions with a deck of cards? They pop up on exams all the time, and they can feel, well, a little intimidating. But what if I told you there's a really simple way to break them down? Today, we're going to walk through a classic problem, step by step, so you can tackle these with total confidence. Let's dive in.
So here it is, the 52-card challenge. We've got to find the probability of a few different things. A red card, a king, a red king, and then there's part D. That's the one, right? That neither a red card nor a king. That's the part that trips almost everyone up. But don't worry, we're going to break it down piece by piece. Okay, before we even think about solving this, we need to get our toolkit ready. Let's cover the ground rules, starting with the single most important idea in any probability problem.
First up is this term, the sample space. Now it sounds all technical and fancy, but it's not. It's just a list of every single possible thing that could happen. For our experiment, which is just drawing one card, well, the sample space is every single card in that 52-card deck. Simple as that.
And that brings us to our magic number for today, 52. This is the total size of our sample space. It's the total number of things that can happen. This number, 52, is going to be the foundation for everything we do. It's the denominator in all of our fractions. Remember it.
So, how do we actually use this stuff? It all comes down to this one simple formula. The probability of anything happening is just the number of ways it can happen divided by the total number of things that could happen. Favorable outcomes over total outcomes. This little fraction is the key to the entire kingdom.
All right, toolkit is ready, formulas in hand. Let's go score some easy points and build a little momentum. We're going to knock out the first 3 parts of this challenge, the straightforward ones, to get warmed up for the main event.
Let's just fly through these, okay? First, a red card. The deck is split right down the middle, half red, half black. So that's 26 red cards, 26 out of 52. That simplifies to 1/2. Easy. Next, a king. There's one king in every suit, hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades, so that's 4 kings in total. 4 out of 52 simplifies to 1 out of 13. Done. Finally, a red king. Now we're getting specific. We only want the king of hearts or the king of diamonds. That's just 2 cards, 2 out of 52, which is 1 out of 26. See? We're on a roll. Okay, that was the warm-up. Now it's time to face the final boss. Part D. Finding the probability of drawing a card that is neither a red card nor a king. This is where the game gets interesting and where a lot of people make a simple mistake. But we've got a clever strategy.
So here's the secret. Instead of trying to count up all the weird cards that aren't red and also aren't kings, which is kind of confusing, it is so much easier to work backwards. We're going to find the probability of the exact opposite thing happening. That is, drawing a card that is red or is a king. And once we have that, we'll just subtract it from 1. It's a brilliant shortcut.
Our game plan has 3 simple steps. Step 1, we find the probability of the opposite event, red or king. Step 2, and this is the absolutely critical part, we have to make sure we don't double count anything. And then step 3, the easy part. We just take that result and subtract it from 1 to get our final answer.
And here is that trap I was talking about. This is the #1 mistake. It's so tempting to just say, okay, 26 red cards plus 4 kings, that's 30 cards. But wait, the king of hearts and the king of diamonds, we just counted them twice. We counted them in the red cards group, and we counted them again in the kings group. The correct way is to add the 26 and the 4, but then you have to subtract that overlap of 2. That gets us to the true number of cards, which is 28.
So let's turn that logic into math. We take the probability of a red card, 26 over 52, we add the probability of a king, 4 over 52, and then, the most important part, we subtract the probability of those 2 red kings we double counted, which is 2 over 52. That gives us a grand total of 28 favorable outcomes out of 52.
And now, for the final satisfying step. We take our whole, which is 1, and we subtract the probability of the thing we don't want, which is 28 out of 52. That leaves us with 24 out of 52. And of course, we always simplify our fractions, which gives us our beautiful final answer, 6 out of 13. And just like that, the final boss is defeated.
So, what did we really learn here? Let's boil this all down into a winning strategy. Some pro tips that you can take with you straight to your next exam.
So let's recap those common pitfalls. First, always be on the lookout for that double counting trap in OR problems. You have to subtract the overlap. Second, don't overthink it. Your denominator, your total, is almost always going to be 52. And finally, please don't forget to simplify your fractions. You want every single point you deserve. Honestly, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this golden rule. The second you see a question that asks for neither A nor B, a light bulb should go off in your head. The secret is to find the probability of A or B first, and then subtract your answer from 1. It is the most reliable, surefire way to get it right every time.
All right, now it's your turn to put this into practice. What's the probability of drawing a face card that's a jack, queen, or king that is not a heart? Think about the strategies we've talked about. Could that solve the opposite trick help you out here too? Pause and give it a shot. Thanks for joining us today.